Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today we're doing a lower body strength and stretch. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. We'll begin today on our knees. So come on down and we're just gonna go right into it. We're gonna step forward with the right foot, drop the hips, and the right foot is on the outside of your shoulder. And just drop the hips. We're just gonna start by stretching into the hips a little before we start to work on strength building. So move around a little. You can be up higher if that works better. Maybe resting the elbows on the front thigh. Come up as far as you need to. You're really just looking for a stretch in the outer hip and that front hip flexor on the left side. You can wing that knee out, flexing the foot and coming onto the outer edge of your right foot. Rock back and forth. Just move around in any way that you need to. Just kind of open that up a bit. Wake it up. And then come on back to your knees, sit back for just a second, and then rock it forward and bring your left foot forward to the outside of your left shoulder. Same thing, drop the hips, rock it around, maybe moving back, maybe forward. Just open that up. Start to deepen the breath. You can stay still if that feels good. Whatever you need. And curl the back toe under, lift the knee, and then step forward to the front of the mat. Bend into the knees deeply, and we're just going to hang here for a second in a forward fold. So bend the knees as deep as they need to be. Your hands can be on the floor, the feet. You can rest your elbows on the shins or on the knees. And just turn those sit bones up toward the sky. So let that be what lengthens the legs. And the crown of the head drop toward the floor. Long spine. And then bend into the knees and come on up to stand. Reach up, sweep the arms up overhead. Grab the outside of one of your wrists or hand. Stretch it up. And then let it go. Swing the arms. Bend into the knees for a deep chair pose. So we're gonna start here, just build a little bit of warmth. So the feet can be close together. They can be hip distance apart, whatever you want. They're close together, that'll allow you to sort of brace against each knee, but that kind of takes away a little bit of the strength you need to do it. So I like to keep my feet a little bit apart. Reach the arms up. Sit back into a nice deep chair pose. Come down a little lower. Deep breaths. And you'll start to feel a little heat building in the thighs. Grip the mat with your toes. Deep breaths. Maybe sway it side to side. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lift the hips, drop the head, fold it in forward. Couple of big breaths here. Just stretch it out. And then come right back into that chair pose. Reach it up. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Rock back and forth. Find the mat with your feet. Press all the corners of your feet into the mat. If your shoulders are screaming, maybe bring the hands down, put them on the hips. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale, fold it in. Standing forward fold. This time as you inhale, let the crown of the head go forward, so get into a bit of a flat back, kind of halfway lift. Then step back with the left foot into a lunge and then come on up. Reach the arms up. High lunge. Now as you inhale, drop the back knee 1 inch from the floor, approximately. Deep breath in. As you exhale, straighten both legs, bring the hands in prayer in front of the heart. 2 more times like that. Inhaling, drop it down. And exhale, come on up. Inhale down. Exhale up. This time, sweep the hands up, drop the back heel, then hinge at the hips and come forward into a pyramid pose. So you can bend into the front knee as your fingertips come down to the ground, and then press your foot into the ground and pull your hip back toward the back of the mat. Knee can stay bent. Crown of the head and hips working away from each other as that hip goes back. Deep breaths. And we'll do that again. Bend into the front knee. Come on up into a lunge. Reach the arms up. Little baby back bend maybe. Inhale, drop the back knee. Exhaling, come on up to stand. Back heel is up. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Grip the mat with your toes. So sort of pulling the legs together. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Drop the back heel, and again, hinge at the hips and come forward into that pyramid pose. Bend the front knee, deep breath in. Exhale, pull the hip back. Let that be what folds you forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Now bend into that front knee, drop the back knee, and we're going to walk the right foot out toward the right. So we're back in a lizard pose. This is where we started. Should feel a bit more open this time, but go ahead and rock back and forth, side to side. Just opening that hip up. If the hips get heavy, maybe you come down onto your elbows if your body lets you in. If not, just stay up. Arms straight. If you are down low, or even if you're up high, you might want to bend into your left knee and reach back with your right arm for that ankle and open up into a bit of a back bend. This gets deep into the hips, gives you a little back bend and stretches the shoulder all at the same time. Covers a lot of real estate. One more big breath here. Then release that foot if you grabbed it, and then pull the hips back, walk the heel a little bit more towards center, and we'll take a half split. So pull the hips back, crown of the head goes forward. Breathe into the underside of that leg. Place that foot down on the ground as your weight comes forward. Lift the back knee. Then step to the front of the mat. Inhale to get a long spine, and then exhaling, bow it forward. Feel a little more open on the right than the left, so we're going to balance that out. Come up to stand, reach up, and then bend the knees, and we're back in that chair pose. Sit back, reach up, shoulders away from the ears. And then sit a little lower. Deep breaths, maybe sway side to side. Just feel all that strength building in the thighs. Breathing. One more big breath here. And then release, fold forward, and stretch it out. One more time, we're going to bend the knees, inhale it back into chair. Sitting back, maybe the hands are on the hips if your shoulders aren't happy. Draw the belly in toward the spine. Move it around if that helps. Deep breath, sit a little lower. A little lower. Breathe, you got this. And then sweep the hips up, head down, forward fold. Deep breath in, deep breath out. This time come into a flat spine, step the right foot back into a lunge and come on up into a high lunge. Back heel is up, reach the arms up. Press that right hip forward, stretch into that hip flexor. Breathe that hip open. And then as you inhale, drop the back knee 1 inch from the floor, arch it back. Exhale, straighten both legs, hands in prayer. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Inhaling down, pull the mat together with your feet. Exhale it up. Plant that back heel. Hands to the hips, hinge at the hips, and come forward into pyramid. Bend the front knee. Fingertips come to the ground. Bend the knee as much as you need to make that happen. And then pull the hips back. Crown of the head goes forward. Breathe in the back of left leg. And then leaning forward, we'll do that again. Come on up, lift the back heel, arms reach up, bending down to breathe in, coming up to breathe out. 2 more times like that. Inhaling, reach it up, exhaling, come back. Last time like this. Inhale and exhale. Back heel lowers, hinging forward, pyramid pose 1 more time. Here you can rock back and forth. If that feels good. My left leg and hip are always tighter than my right. So always do what you need for each side and each pose. Reach that crown of the head forward, bend into the back knee and drop it on down. We'll take that lizard pose on this side. Drop the hips, rocking back and forth. Maybe you come all the way down onto elbows. Maybe not. You can also place a bolster under your elbows if you want to come about halfway down. You can flex that foot, wing the knee out to the side. If that feels better on your hip. Then if you want to add that back bend, bend into the right knee, grab a hold of that ankle with your left hand, press the chest forward toward the front of the mat. Deep breaths into the hips, shoulder, upper back. Couple more big breaths here. And then come on forward, and if you are on elbows, we're going to stay there. If you're not, come on down and kick both feet back so that you can come into a forearm plank. You can press the elbows into the ground. Core is strong. Thighs are engaged. Heels pressing back, crown of the head reaching forward. 2 more big breaths here. And then lower the hips. Place the hands on the ground, so spread the fingertips wide. The elbows are under the shoulders. Pull the chest through, so you're in Sphinx pose. Chest is pulled through the shoulders. Press the hips down. No crunching in the lower back. If this feels like too much, come down a little lower. Spread the elbows wide to do that. Deep breath into the front body, just breathing open. And then lower down a little, let the elbows go out to the side, press the hands into the ground, curl the toes under, and reach the hips up, downward dog. 2 big breaths here. That's the second one. And then step your left foot forward in between the hands, turn toward the side, and your wide-legged forward fold. Take a deep breath in and fold it forward. 2 breaths here. And then reach the crown of the head forward, fingertips to the ground. And we're going to step both feet toward the left. Feet about hip distance apart, or bring them together. And guess what? We're back in chair pose. Reach the arms up. That's right. Reach the arms up. That's what we're here for. Sit back. Now bring the hands to the hips. And we're going to step out 3 times with the right foot. So staying right where you are, bring all the weight into the left leg. And then step out. 1. Bring it back. 2. Bring it back. 3. Bring it back. Both feet down, weight into both feet, chair pose. And then fold it in, forward fold. Bend the knees, come on back, chair pose. 1 more time. So this time after you reach up, bring the hands to the hips, all the weight into the left foot, and step out. 1. Bring it back. 2. Bring it back. 3. I know you feel it. Come on back and fold. Reach the crown of the head forward, fingertips to the ground, knees are bent. Step back into a wide-legged forward fold and fold forward. Maybe take a second to wipe the sweat from your lip. And then, you guessed it, take it over toward the right. Feet hip distance apart or together. Bend into the knees and reach it up, chair pose. Sit down a little lower. Bring the hands to the hips, and we're going to step out with that left foot. So bring all the weight into the right and step it out. 1, 2, 3. Come on back. Weight into both. Come back into chair pose and fold it in. Deep breath in, deep breath out. 1 more time. Bring it back into chair. Hands to the hips. Step out. 1, 2, 3. Back in a chair and fold it in. Inhale the crown of the head long. Step out, wide-legged forward fold. Take a second to set this up. So bend the knees, crown of the head forward, then tilt and come into a forward fold. And breathe it out. Fingertips to the ground, crown of the head reaches forward again. Bend into the right knee and just stretch into the inner left thigh. So you can bend the elbows as much as you need to. Sit back, so bring some of the weight into the heel. You're stretching and you're building some strength in that right leg. So move it up and down as you need to. Breathe and open. And then come back to center and take that over to the left. Then into the left knee, sit back a little. Stretching on the right side. Come back to center, reach it forward, bend the knees and fold it in. Now this time as you inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, then come and turn towards your left foot, step back into a downward dog. Lower the knees to the floor and come all the way down. Inhaling into a cobra, and come up as high as it feels good in your own body. So you might be down here, pressing the chest forward, pressing the feet into the ground, all 10 toes. If it feels good, press into the hands, press the chest forward, belly button to spine, shoulders down. And then bend the knees, hips to heels, child's pose. And then come forward on the hands and knees, walk the knees forward and come sit back on your hips. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the side, and we'll take Baddha Konasana. I'm going to stretch these legs, they've been working hard today. So we're going to press the fingertips into the ground, chest goes forward. Deep breaths. If that doesn't feel like much, let the hands come forward. Doesn't matter how close your nose gets to your toes, we're pressing the chest forward. And then walk the hands up, straighten your left leg out. Bring the right foot to the inside of that thigh, bend into your left knee, and then pull your hip back as you hinge forward from the hip. You can grab the outside of that foot if that's accessible, or maybe the hands are on the floor out by the shin. Press the chest forward, pull the hip back, Janu. One more big breath here. And then walk the hands up, turn toward the side so you can open that up. We'll add a side bend. So bend into the left knee, bring the elbow to the inside of the knee, maybe the floor. And then open your right arm like a wing, straight up toward the sky. Nice side stretch. That might be plenty right there. If you want a little more, drop your shoulder away from your ear and then reach overhead. Press your armpit away from your left toes. Drop the right hip down. And then come on up. And we'll take that to the other side. So right foot out, left foot in. Bend the knee, hip goes back. And fold it forward, pressing the chest forward. A lot of times we think we're going for our nose on our shin, and that just rounds the spine. It doesn't really do much to stretch the leg, so we want to bend the knee, pull the hip back, and then the crown of the head or the chest goes away from that. And that's what gives you the good stretch. And then come on up, open the hip up, knee out toward the left, bend into the right knee, elbow to the inside of the knee, and then open your left arm like a wing. Just peel it open, turn the chest up toward the sky. That's the most important part of a side bend, is turning your heart up. Protects the lower back. You stay here, dropping your left hip down and your shoulder away from the ear. Maybe the arm goes overhead. Keep using your right elbow to turn your heart up. And then come on up, bring both feet forward, and we'll just take a couple of breaths in Paschimottanasana. So scoot the hips back as the knees bend. Press the heart forward. rock back and forth if you need to scoot those hips back. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Come on up to sit. Scoot the hips forward. Come on, lay down on the back and we'll take a Shavasana. The most important part of practice. So let your feet just flop open. Hands flop open, palms to the sky. Take a couple of deep breaths just to release into the floor. Neck is long, shoulders away from the ears. Just let everything sink down. This is where your body integrates what it's learned. So just take a moment here to do nothing. Now feel free to stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, bring the feet together, interlace the fingers, press the palms away up overhead. Flex the feet and stretch it out. Get long. And then bring the knees in toward the chest. Bring your arms around and squeeze it in. And then come on up to sit. Find a comfortable seat. Simple cross-legged, half lotus, backs of the hands to the knees. Close the eyes. And even a yoga practice where we're focused on building strength and getting stretch, you get that nice sense of chill at the end to take into your day or your evening. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's class, come find me over on lcyoga.com. There you'll find all kinds of content that doesn't exist here on YouTube. With a 30-day free trial, you'll find commercial-free complete beginner series, intermediate flows, workshops, at-home retreats, challenges, lots of stuff to help you grow and expand your practice. So start your 30-day free trial at lcyoga.com and I'll see you there.